Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a very good weekend. I'm having an unapologetically very lazy Saturday. I got out this morning, I did take a walk, went and got a watermelon, and probably about the only productive thing I'm doing today is shooting this video. You know what? I've been going all week, I've been running around, I've been working, and I said, you know what? Let's just let it go and be lazy today. So that's what I do. I'll be back at it Monday for sure, probably tomorrow, but you never know. Lazy weekend doesn't hurt every once in a while. It's good to recharge the batteries. Our Saturday talk today is going to be about doubling down on gratitude. I do videos every day. Most days of the week, I do it on food, the raw food diet, plant-based diet in general. Sometimes talk about fitness. Some weekends talk a little bit about meditation, and others just do kind of try, hopefully, inspirational reading. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you'd take the time and hit that subscribe button now. Then be sure and click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. This is something that's really, been pertinent to me recently, and as I kind of knew what I was going to do. I didn't know all my thoughts on this, or I didn't have all my thoughts organized, but I kind of knew this was the one I was going to do back early in the week. I think I used that phrase somewhere else, maybe in a post or something, doubling down on gratitude, and it started just kind of percolating, and it just rolled into what I wanted to talk about this week. I've been practicing. I've really been a big proponent of gratitude for some time now. And I'd say over the past 5 or 6 years, it has got increasingly stronger, and probably within the last year or 18 months, even stronger than that. Well, these practices have been good because recently, as I've been dealing with a little bit of difficulty here with my mom, going in the nursing home. And I'll just briefly talk about that because I mentioned it and some people didn't know about it. And some people are, oh my God, what happened? My mom's basically old. She'll be 88 years old in October. She's dealt with arthritis and problems with her legs for years. No, she's not going to change. She's to an age where she doesn't eat very much. It's not a matter of her changing her lifestyle. She's at that age where she's just very weak. She doesn't eat very much. So no, giving her certain foods that she's not going to eat anyway is not going to really do anything. So, I pretty much knew from the day she went in. Well, I would say I kind of tried to hold out a little hope, but I pretty much knew from the first week, although I still tried to be encouraging to her, that this was going to be a permanent thing. I mean, I've seen it coming for some time. I mean, my mom has had problems with her knees and her mobility for, God, since she was in her 40s. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised she stayed mobile and independent as long as she did. She's pretty much accepted that. The nursing home is a nice place. It's right down the hill. I can literally walk there from our place. So anyhow, that has been, that's caused me some grief, just the situation of my mother's health. I've kind of processed that and I've come to a peace with that part of it. But there's also some other issues that are kind of my own doing that have caused me, a little bit of worry and anxiety, but I've dealt with them, and I've dealt with them pretty effectively. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I've had to think about these too. Let's see. I'm just looking at my notes. I don't ever try to fool people that I'm looking at notes. I was just writing down about how I had gotten really introspective about these type things, and about the mistakes I've made and how they're kind of coming back to, into play now. Because nursing homes are expensive as far as this goes, and it's not something that's a great concern, but there could be financial concerns down the road, and I've never really had to deal with financial worry. Not that have been independently wealthy or that I have a lot or whatever, but it's just because I'm so simple, I don't have to worry about these things. And I've never really thought about my station in life until now. You deal a little bit with your own mortality when you deal with your parents' mortality. And at 54 years old, I'm about 30 years behind. I kind of, I don't have any planning for the future, the 401k, all that kind of stuff. I've just bumbled around like a college kid, working under the table here, trading off there, having a job here, having a job there. But bottom line being, there are some concerns about that. That's not part of it. I don't need to go into all of that. But Recently, as I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, is I've just been doubling down. Just like the title of this video says, I've been doubling down on my practice of gratitude. I've found that, anytime, and it works right on the spot too. It's not one of those things, this is kind of funny. I've mentioned this before, I know. When I do these videos on the weekend, a lot of times I'll do a little Google searching and YouTube searching to see what the subject, to see some other thoughts on the subject. I like to do a reading. I like to bring something else just besides my thoughts. Well, I searched practicing gratitude, and I had to laugh a little bit how some people can be so cerebral about everything. Almost everything on the first page of Google was about how to practice gratitude, steps to practice gratitude, strategies for practicing gratitude. And it all came back to, everybody. And hey, I've even advocated a food journal, but sometimes people are just a little too journal happy. Of course, there's a gratitude journal. And I don't know, I just had to kind of look at that stuff and roll my eyes and, laugh to myself a little bit. Is all of that necessary? Is all of that necessary? My practice of gratitude is just like a big thank you to God, the universe, to source, to whatever. Thankful for everything I have, and that's what I've done. Anytime recently that I've started getting a little worrisome, a little bit of anxiety creeping in, this could happen, that could happen, blah, blah, blah. All I do is immediately start going, man, you know what? I got a roof over my head. I got food. It's not a great car, but I got a solid running car right now. And I just start ripping through the list of everything I have and everything. If I didn't have this, like, what if I didn't have this roof over my head? All of a sudden, I got lots of problems. So, no matter how big our problems get, I'm thinking almost everybody, no matter how bad your problem can be, can always find some source of gratitude in their life. And then I really started getting deep thinking about this because, there's times, I'm coming up on, and I get introspective this time of year too, where I'm coming up on 6 years having been on this lifestyle and 6 years since I took a drink. I've told people, I've been quite open about the fact that I was fucking drunk for 30 years, and I say it just like that. I wasn't pretty, I didn't do that. I was a fucking drunk, and I was a sloppy drunk, and I wasn't a mean drunk, but it was just like, I wasted a lot of time, did a lot of stupid things, and I've had to deal with that. And there's times, and I've gotten pretty good with it. It doesn't last for very long, but I will get down on myself sometime and be like, what are you fucking stupid? What did you do this for so long? Where would you be right now if you hadn't lived like that for so long? And that's when the worry disappears and the smile comes to my face. Because in a way, and this may sound perverted, it may sound weird, but I even express gratitude for those drunken years. I express gratitude for the drunken person I was back then because in some twisted sort of way, I've got the butterfly effect in my head. If it wasn't for, the butterfly effect is pretty much any little minute thing can just send other things into motion and can affect everything down the road. If any of that stuff hadn't happened, what if I gotten sober and 10 years earlier than what I did? Every step may have come. I might have gotten sober and never come to this lifestyle. I might have gotten sober and never, learned about how I should properly feed my body. I might have gotten sober and any number of things could have happened early on. I learned lessons doing like that. Number two, it's just like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I could sit here and I could lament over it and I could beat myself up and whatever, but I can't go backwards, so I move forward. But I am, and that's a tough one, and I have to work through that slowly in my head sometime to be grateful for those years and this is not like I've arrived somewhere, I'm any kind of super great person, but I wouldn't trade those times because it made me who I am right now. And I like who I am. I don't necessarily say this is where I want to stop. I don't want to say I hope I'm not a finished product. I hope I can evolve further. And I hope that 3 years from now, I would look back on this me and be like, not judging them, but be like, okay, you need to be further along than that. So, it is what it is. It really is what it is. But I just find, myself almost in a constant, it's not so much a practice, but a way of life. I just kind of, am starting to constantly find myself expressing gratitude. Even on these walks when nothing is troubling me, even when my mind is perfectly content, my brain is just scanning stuff now. It's like, oh, look at all these squirrels. Haven't seen a lot of squirrels in a while. Really grateful to be out in nature to see the squirrels. I hear these birds in the morning, like I did that video the other day, and that's something I really miss from Costa Rica. So when I hear birds, I'm like really grateful. When I go to the park, I'm grateful that there's a park down there. I'm grateful every day when I have sunshine here. I'm grateful that I'm getting good watermelon. I'm not in Costa Rica. I don't get all the tropical fruit I used to, but I'm grateful because I got good oranges and orange juice and bananas carried me through the winter. And then I got mangoes. So, man, once you just start getting on a roll, it kind of builds on its own, and you realize, like, well, shut up. You got nothing. You got so much more. If you start looking on the gratitude side versus the side you have to complain about, if you really try, that gratitude side's always going to outweigh the part that you're complaining about. And, I think, like I say, I talked about this when we do our meditation practices or when we do whatever, how eating like this, we do our practices during the good times to make ourselves strong for troubled times and to be able to deal with these type of things. So I would just say, if the times are good, acknowledge that the times are good. Don't take it for granted. Every good thing that comes to you, say a silent thank you. Say, whether you give it up as a little prayer, whether you just thank the universe, or whether you just acknowledge it. Be grateful. Because when we practice these things in the good time, it's there for us. It's like putting, almost like saving up in that bank. And saving up in that bank, we put that gratitude in the bank, and we're strong with it, when we have things to deal with. And as soon as you start getting down on yourself, as soon as you start thinking, not being grateful, just find what you're grateful for. I did find a few quotes that I really liked, so I said, in light of not finding like an article or a nice little reading today, I thought I'd just find a few quotes on this. This guy has quite a few of them. Roy T. Bennett from The Light and the Heart. I've heard this I think from different people in sort of a different way, but be grateful for what you already have while you pursue your goals. If you aren't grateful for what you already have, what makes you think you would be happy with more? We know those people, they always need more. Even when they get something, and there's a quote sort of like that, it's like something that today you want really bad, or you're like, I gotta have it. And then 2 weeks you get it, and that thing that was so important, it's just not that important anymore. It's something else, and it's always something else. This is a cute one. It's just real simple. Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. Here's one from Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is a good one. Kind of what I'm talking about. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you, and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Really good stuff, really good stuff. Another one from Roy T. Bennett. Start each day with a positive heart and a grateful heart. Definitely. And another one from him. He's on fire. They've got a lot in this particular page from Roy T. Bennett. Be thankful for everything that happens in your life. It's all an experience. Man, he's got a lot of quotes that I've heard before. I never knew they were him. Always remember people who have helped you along the way, and don't forget to lift someone up. That's true too, not just the things in your life, but you got to be grateful for those people, and you got to remember that, the people that keep you going when you get down. And I will share one last one because she was such a great woman, from Maya Angelou. Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. That's it. Every day. Every day. I'll finish with that. Just do that. Just do a simple start. First thing in the morning, every day, just express what you're grateful for. Just say it to yourself. Say it silently to yourself. Say it out loud. Say it however you want to, but to express it. At the end of the day, try to look for 2 or 3 new things that you found that you could be grateful for that day. But for me, it's like, you can worry, you can have doubt and stuff, but when things are going bad, I totally advocate doubling down on the gratitude. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.